Associates. And with us today, we have a few guest speakers that are joining us, and we're delighted to have them. The first one is Joseph and Patricia, who will speak about our impaired risk or guaranteed issue or high-limit disability product, which is awesome in my opinion. They have a very special niche in this department. So they're one of our new carriers that we brought on. And the second guest speaker of the day is Robert, and he is actually a product specialist with Lloyd's of London. So he's also going to speak about some high-limit disability and some guaranteed issue and specialty life products as well. So we have some great stuff today. We also have Joseph Loughran, who's our marketing vice president, who is in our office here, and Amanda Marquez, who focuses specifically on impaired risk in our office here. She is actually our in-house underwriter, and the reason why we wanted to have her on today, and she also has a small part of the presentation at the end, is she is your go-to girl for any type of impaired risk clients. That's for disability, long-term care, life, and she will help you go in the right direction as far as which carrier to go to, which product, what health class, what the premiums are. So she is like your go-to person here at the Levinson office, and she'll guide you in the right direction. And, you know, we also pride ourselves on having a solution for every type of client or situation. So what that means is you will never run into a client out there in the field where you don't have a solution or a product for, okay? Just remember that. You will never have a client, I don't care what the health condition is or really what the age is, okay? We have a product for everyone, and that's the main reason why we wanted to have this webinar today, to show you how we stand out, and we brought on these two new carriers just for disability and guaranteed issue life solutions. So great stuff today. We have these awesome new companies that we're adding to the portfolio of carriers that we already have. So by the end of this call, we feel that you'll be very comfortable going out there and quoting and marketing to new parts of the population by adding this tool to your toolbox, if you will. So moving forward, we have our annual Agent Expo that we try to make bigger and better every year. And so far, we've been pretty successful. Joe is going to tap into this quickly, and then we're going to move forward. Joe?
Thanks, Bill. Of course, the annual Levinson Expo, this is actually the 8th year we're hosting this, is on April 24th, 2015. As you can see from the pictures on this screenshot, it's actually in sunny South Florida, right on the beach. It's actually a Friday. It's a full day focused solely on sales ideas, sales concepts that you can literally start using by that Friday afternoon and even on the weekend and Monday morning to help increase your sales. So we've actually brought in about our top 8 to 10 carriers. You're going to be able to meet underwriters. You're going to be able to meet advanced marketing specialists, everybody that actually you need to know in the industry to actually develop those sales skills and learn new things to help you move forward and grow your practice in the industry. Of course, the Expo is free for all agents to attend. If you're not local to South Florida, we've got a lot of agent base that will fly in from across the country. We've put together a neat qualification, which you can see on this slide, which actually started September 1st. The first level for that qualification is if you have written or will write $15,000 in paid premium, we actually give you one free night at the Beachfront Resort to attend the Expo on Friday. And then the second level is $40,000 of paid premium. Not only get you that one free night at that Beachfront Resort, but also round-trip airfare. And then the third level on the bottom is $50,000 in paid premium. We'll get you round-trip airfare plus 2 free nights at that Beachfront Resort. So again, this is a day you do not want to miss. Again, with the focus on sales ideas, sales concepts, to really help grow your business in the upcoming year.
Okay, thank you, Joe. So also, I forgot to mention that the line is closed, so take out a pen and paper and jot down any notes, questions that you might have, and then, of course, call us after the call or shoot us an email, whatever easier, and we will get any questions answered. We are also going to send out an email to everyone after today's call that includes some brochures and marketing material that will go over all the products that we're discussing in today's training. Okay, so definitely jot that down. So right now you're on our weekly training webinar. As you know, every week we try to focus on a new concept, sales idea, new product carrier, something that's going to be able to help our agents go out in the field and make more sales, which is the name of the game here. So these are just a few others that we have coming up. Actually, on the 24th, this is a big one. Do not miss this webinar. So we have an exclusive program where we've teamed up with a third-party company where you can actually add designations onto your title. So become a certified financial education instructor. Okay, so A, you can teach classes and or seminars and bring some value, obviously, to attract more clients to listen to you speak. And then, of course, you can bring up any products after your seminar or class. So this is going to teach you all about how to add different designations to your title. Great stuff there on the 24th. The following day, on the 25th, we're going to touch on policy reviews. Okay, that's a subject that we all know hasn't been brought up in a while, but we have put together a program with another carrier that is awesome. It's going to help you go back to your existing policy holders. That's the following day on the 25th at 2 p.m. On the 26th, the next day, we have our exclusive mortgage lead platform, and we now offer lead reimbursement. So great stuff there as well. We have the creator of our mortgage lead program on the call with me and with another successful agent who's using the program today out of Texas. So those are 3 awesome webinars you do not want to miss. Okay, so this is just a little outline of what we're going to go over in today's training. So first up, we're going to introduce Joseph and Patricia, and they're going to go over our Easy Disability Income Policy. It's offered by Fidelity Security Life. Great stuff, very niche market, and it's going to really help all of our agents round off their portfolio of products. Second there in the blue spot is Lloyd's of London Specialty Products. Robert is going to speak on what's hot right now with Lloyd's, and again, give you some more options to offer your clients. So once again, you will have a solution for every type of client or situation. That's the name of the game here, and that's really what this webinar is about. Third up is going to be Amanda, and she, once again, is your go-to impaired risk in-house underwriter. Any situation that kind of falls out of the norm, call Amanda, and she will get you a quote and an offer with some of our top companies, including Lloyd's and Fidelity Security Life, which is what you're about to hear today. So first up, I want to introduce Joseph and Patricia, and they're going to dive into our Easy DI policy with Fidelity Security Life. Joseph, you there?
Yes, thank you very much for that introduction. Welcome, everyone. And I'm going to give you today very briefly, within 10 minutes, a very brief overview of our impaired risk products. As was mentioned a little bit earlier, basically the important thing about impaired risk is really to provide a solution, an option for your customers who have maybe some medical conditions or other issues that makes them a little bit difficult to place in the standard market. So basically, first, I'd like to kind of give you an overview of Fidelity Security Life Insurance Company. It's an insurance carrier that is very well established. It's been in business for several decades. It's a excellent A-minus AM Best rated company. It's on a regular basis. It receives awards from the world's 50 top performing U.S. insurance companies. It's obviously not a brand name like the standard carriers, but it's a company that has been focused on niche products for a very long period of time and is very solid financially. Risk insurance, I'm part of risk insurance, and basically we manage that program for Fidelity. So what we do is mostly we underwrite that product. We've been underwriting this for 20-plus years, so we have a lot of expertise in dealing with all kinds of medical issues that your customers may have, and seeing how we can provide coverage for those special conditions that are being declined or highly rated with lots of exclusions by the other carriers. We also provide some advertising and marketing and collateral material that you may want to present sometimes to your customers to make them feel comfortable about both the company and also the product. And also we administer the program in the sense that we are in touch with the customer from billing and maintaining their policy with Fidelity. I guess the main value proposition here is to provide to customers an option and to be able to, for all kinds of cases, whether they've been declined due to chronic conditions, whether they have a history of cancer, whether they have experienced cardiovascular impairments, have mental nervous conditions, or suffer from insulin-dependent diabetes. For you, it's important also to realize that there is something as well in it for the brokers and the producers trying to sell those products. They're obviously injected in the sales cycle a little bit late, in the sense that they typically you present those products once they've been declined by the standard carriers. So the temptation is very great, basically, to simply abandon and just move to the next case. Obviously, the message here of this presentation is that there is an option, even though those disability applications is harder to get. You can convert those declines into revenue and income for you and for your company, whether it's those cases have been declined for medical impairment, occupational risk, or excessive coverage. So obviously, the important thing here is to persevere and to really explore basically coverage with those niche and specialized products. Obviously, this is not going to be your bread and butter. It's a small portion of your overall cases, but as with everything, basically the declines take a disproportionate, have a disproportionate negative impact on your overall market positioning, and also on your time. Obviously, whenever there is a decline, where there's difficult cases, those cases tend to take more of your time, and it's very important to deal with a carrier that can streamline the underwriting and streamline basically the application process and putting the application in the policy enforced. There is obviously those cases. If you just let go and not persevere in that effort, obviously you would have lost in time. You would have lost. There's a loss of acquisition costs. There's no way of cross-selling other products to a customer if you keep him, for example, if you persevere in giving him disability coverage. So obviously, even though it's the amount of money is small in terms of, and the volume is small, because the volume is small, it's important to see about the upside here and being able to provide coverage to difficult cases because of the ability to cross-sell other products, maybe a life product or other, and keep the customer to refer you some of their friends, and to make sure that basically you increase your credibility into the marketplace. So let's take a look at who to target. Basically, the target market that you can reach with the FSL product is medical impairments, people with pre-existing medical conditions, people who have excessive coverage, for example. Those are folks that have too much pre-existing DI coverage from other sources. Even if they're healthy, for example, they could have tapped out, capped their DI capabilities based on their income from other carriers, from the standard carriers, and high-risk occupations that have been declined by the standard carriers. One thing that we do at Fidelity Security Life is that we tend to underwrite the very vast majority of our cases with no new blood tests or medical exams. we realize the customer has gone already through those blood tests and medical exams, and we basically underwrite using mostly medical records and APSs. So the last thing is you want to do is to go back to your customer and ask him to go through more tests. So that's something that we avoid. The other thing that we focus on is obviously you want something that's very streamlined to accelerate the application and the underwriting process. This is something that we basically with our relationship with various GAs, we provide basically capability of answering typically quotes within the same day or within 48 hours. And then we can also underwrite relatively quickly once we have the APSs in our hands. The product itself is a guaranteed renewable product. Here I'm describing the Platinum Easy Select, which is one of our most popular products. It's a 5-year benefit period. It's a guaranteed renewable product with a level premium, so the premiums don't increase every year, or it's basically level premium. And it's a 5-year benefit period. We underwrite up to $15,000 per month, regardless of occupational classes. The product is a graded benefit product in the sense that the first 2 policy years, the benefit amount is graded, 40% the first year and 75% the second year. After the 3rd policy years, there is no grading due to disabilities, due to injuries and sickness. There is no grading due to disabilities due to injuries even during the first 2 years. And there's obviously a large choice of benefit periods. One other aspect to realize is, and to stress, is obviously that it is mostly a guaranteed renewable product in the sense that there's no re-underwriting that occurs throughout the life of the policy. Once they're underwritten only once, regardless of how their medical conditions evolves over time. I'll just turn it over now to Trish, who's going to go over a little bit some of the typical conditions that we consider.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
All right, Joseph, you're going to move the slides for me, Joseph? What page? Which
yes,
page?
we have mostly this. Yes, go ahead.
All right, which page am I on, Joseph? Pushing the envelope?
No, we're on the typical medical conditions considered, the last
okay.
slide.
Thank you.
Yes.
Excuse me, everyone. I have a little bit of cold here. As Joseph said, it's important with a guaranteed renewable product, particularly for clients with chronic severe medical conditions, that they get a guaranteed renewable product, so they don't have to worry about if the condition does progress to an uninsurable status and re-underwriting. So that's what the Fidelity Security Life product gives value to for your clients with chronically impaired conditions. And then a lot of the ones that we consider that we see often in the market are listed here on this sheet. Persons with history of heart and cardiovascular issues, atrial fibrillation, someone that's had a heart attack or a stent or a cardiac bypass, we consider those clients. There's different restrictions around that. And the best thing to do is when you encounter any of these types of conditions, you reach out to Bill's office. They'll reach out directly to me, and I'll get an answer back to them. Mostly the same day, definitely more within 24 hours than 48, but we strive for same-day service. We just get so many emails that some days it takes a little, like the next day, 24 hours. But so you have to get into the cardiovascular conditions. You have clients that may have a history of an aneurysm or a stroke, history of alcohol and drug issues, abuse or dependencies. We consider clients with that history. Clients with severe back and spine disorders or history of back and spine surgeries for herniated discs, bulging discs, injuries. Clients with height and weight issues, we have very, very, very liberal height and weight guidelines. I would recommend that you don't look at someone's height and weight and say that, that we would never consider them, because we will really alarmingly surprise you what we can say yes to on the height and weight issues. If you combine it with other combination conditions like diabetes, it gets a little stricter, but you'd be, like I said, surprised. We consider clients with a history of cancer. Once they meet our criteria, time out from treatment and whatnot, and it's obviously nowhere near as long out as the standard carriers. We're high-risk carriers, so we do more than what the standard carriers when they decline it. And when we're willing to accept a person with a history of cancer, 9 out of 10 times, we probably won't exclude the cancer history. Pretty much already went over the cerebral vascular disease. I combine that up there with the aneurysms, clients with a history of stroke or TIA, which is a mini stroke, and the coronary artery disease. I've covered that. Yeah, then we cover a lot of clients with a lot of autoimmune disorders, Crohn's disease, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis. We take on a lot of those that get declined very often in the standard market. Diabetes, we obviously consider, even insulin-dependent diabetes, and we have different criteria based on, height and weight and what other combination histories there are. But again, as I said, the best thing to do, any diabetic that you get declined in the standard market, reach out to Bill's office, and they'll reach out to us, and we'll get you out some quotes when we can do it. And most times we can. It's rare that we can't. Clients even with kidney issues, chronic kidney disorders, we consider. Clients with epilepsy, very liberal guidelines on that, with or without exclusions. We have to look at the whole picture when we're underwriting the cases. Some things are black and white. Some things, with the experience we've had and the ability to look at 20 years of claims history on impaired risk disability cases really helps us underwrite and even adapt our underwriting, and then adapt our underwriting even based on current medical progress and treatment, when they change treatments, find better treatments for conditions. Clients with chronic eye disorders like macular degeneration or glaucoma, we consider them. Also clients with fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome, hepatitis B and C, you see a lot of those declines. Someone that's even just a carrier of hepatitis B tends to be declined in the marketplace, but we'll take a look at those just as well as clients with liver issues. Lupus, I kind of already covered that with the Crohn's disease. Our mental nervous disorder, we consider clients with work-related anxiety. I see a lot of declinations in the standard market when someone has work-related anxiety. But we'll take a look at that for sure without a problem. Clients with a history of depression, bipolar, and even mild schizophrenia, we consider. We do consider clients with multiple sclerosis, very, very rare that condition's accepted. But we do look at that. We have certain criteria for it that we follow. But again, always reach out. Don't ever think that there's a definite no behind that condition or any condition. And I covered rheumatoid arthritis. The psoriatic arthritis falls in the same lines with that. It's an autoimmune disorder. If they're taking the biologics, you see the commercials today for Humira and Enbrel, these conditions, these medications that can cause a lot of disability in themselves. They're pretty much declined in the standard market, but we will definitely consider them. Ulcerative colitis is the same thing. So as I've said, going over these conditions, this gives you some of the really high level and very, very chronic, very severe conditions that we consider. And, as I've said a few times in here, I really think it's important. Always send any of your impaired cases to Bill's office so he can reach out to us and we can look at it, put some quotes together so you have more options for your clients, So, and as Joseph had said, it's very streamlined. We're very fast in responding, so you don't have to go say no to your client first. You get another option, and then you go say, okay, I couldn't get you this, but here I have a backup plan, a very good, solid one that's guaranteed renewable.
Yes, and what we've seen is sometimes if you pre-sell the customer, if you see that one of your customers has some of those conditions, to let them know that basically if the customer if you're going to be declined by the standard carrier, that you're going to be able to come up with an alternative with FSL. The pre-selling helps a lot in putting the customer in a position of accepting that this is just a continuation of the sales cycle, and that he'd actually be impressed if you're like things are going according to what you have you've told them basically that they're probably going to be likely to be declined, but we're going to try, but there's no worries because there's an alternative here with the FSL product. So this is basically what we had to cover today, and just want to thank you very much for your attention.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joe and Patricia. That was very helpful. So next up, yeah, of course. Next up, we have Robert, who is our product specialist at Lloyd's of London. So he is going to talk about where they shine and some of their niches, and then once again, by the end of today's webinar, we feel that you can definitely be more knowledgeable in this whole impaired risk or niche marketplace. Okay, Robert, you there?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys, and thank you for having us on. I'm going to try and make this as quick and brief as possible. We do follow a very unique fill, as we are just the unique and gaps and holes solution provider. So anytime it's not going to fit in that traditional realm, we can help on certain aspects. So very excited to present some of those things, all of course available through Levinson and Associates, and we'd love to work up a solution for you guys. Lloyd's of London has been providing very unique products to the life and health insurance industry, and almost all of those are offered through Peterson International. It starts with international solutions, and those would be anywhere from life to disability coverage to high-limit accident coverage, and of course major medical protection as well while your clients are traveling outside the U.S. or coming in. And so I'm going to try and, again, highlight the very few key products that I would think would be a best fit for some of your odds and ends clients that face the unusual situation. War and terror is something that we see a lot of. It doesn't necessarily have to involve Afghanistan or Iraq, but it can be, even Israel, that was a fairly low-risk country, is now seeing some trailing ends of that. So we provide a number of products to secure your clients in these types of situations. We realize they might not reside overseas or in these countries, but the one time that they are headed out this way or facing this type of risks, they are going to need to be just as secured internationally as they would here on the mainland. So we do that with a high-limit accident policy for covering accidental death either on a plane or common carrier, or if they were, performing surgery in a barrack in Afghanistan. Their DI policy is also internationally accepted and honored, as well as kidnap and ransom for any high net worth clients headed to risky areas. A key product or solution that we provide on an international basis is our term life product. This term is up to a 10-year term on our international term life, and it is literally available worldwide. So there are no country exclusions, and it can always be accompanied with an accidental death policy should they be traveling to an extremely hazardous location. For this policy, we can offer benefits up to 10 times their annual income or 1/2 of their net worth. Our second solution in life, and it's kind of our second sector of life coverage, is what we call failure to survive protection. This comes into play for your impaired risk or your confidential cases where large amounts of life insurance are needed. It's a short-term product. It's a 1-year term, but no medical underwriting. It's application only, and usually no exclusions on the policy either, just with writing off of those medical questionnaires. So in order to provide a business life policy, what we need is either a key person in a company insuring a bank loan or a buy-sell contract, or let's say if it's a confidential basis to where a producer or entertainment company is needing to insure an actor who's participating in hobbies or avocations that company would not prefer, and would like to insure that individual for the contracts and for the salary that they've rewarded them. So those are just a couple of unique gaps that we're able to fill on the life insurance side by providing those high limits or coverage to individuals with impaired risk or prior health issues. So moving into DI, and I'll be honest, DI is what we absolutely do best. So this is our specialty at Peterson. It is our bread and butter, but like Joseph said earlier, we understand this is not your mainline product, but we're just here to provide the odds and ends solutions. So our specialty here at Peterson International on the disability side comes first with athletes and entertainers. This can include professional athletes or college athletes, maybe in the draft or trying to protect their future earning potential. Either way, Peterson has a policy that can fit those gifted athletes. And just like entertainers, we can do personal DI for entertainers. For either case, all we need is the individual's name, and we can return a quote to Bill and his team. War and terror, again, another thing very common that we come across on the DI side, and just as important, so I felt very necessary to at least retouch on that, and that it doesn't even have to be a high-risk area, but if you have a company with executives in South America or Africa, Australia, we offer a full international DI policy that is available, and the client can claim and receive benefits literally worldwide. Another unique occupation filled by Peterson is our pilots. Our pilot loss of license protection is very new to the industry. It was previously disability protection, but then we realized the need for enhanced coverage, and that's when we offered what's called a loss of license plan. So if a pilot loses their license due to a medical condition, which is a very strict stipulation for them, they will claim benefits, whether they may be meet the full definition of disability or not by an insurance carrier. And our absolute specialty at Peterson within DI is the need for excess DI, okay? Catering disability insurance income protection to those executives and high-income earners who need multiple tiers of coverage. What we usually see when we're working with a client is a base layer of group LTD covering very little, and there for a majority of the rank and file employees. Generally, the higher income earners are going to have a buy-up individual disability policy, but for the top group of executives, it's just still not enough. And so what we bring in to ensure these huge amounts of income is a Peterson excess policy. And what I'm going to brief to you today are just two tools that hit the very top of what we do here at Peterson, and I will tell you that the list is much, much longer of some of the unique excess solutions we're able to do. The reason for the importance of high-limit disability insurance is because no matter a person's income, they are spending 65 to 75% of that salary. That means that a person earning $100,000 per year uses 65 to 75%, just like a person earning $1 million a year uses 65 to 75%. A good way that you can put this into perspective is, do you think the person earning $100,000 lives in the same size house as the person earning $1 million per year? Probably not. And I guarantee you the furniture and the plates and the cars that are parked in front of it are much different as well. So there is a need. These people earn great large incomes, and they need to be equally insured to 65 or 75%, just as those earning an average salary. So an overall look at our personal coverage solutions. And might I just add that we are here to go over everything we do in a very small amount of time. So I'm not going to touch on every detail that's going to be necessary for you to hear, but I hope this provokes some questions, and I hope you can get those to Bill, just like he said, to write anything down that you had a question on or that caught your attention, and we'd be more than happy to go into further detail at a future time with Bill. So our keys to XSDI, what's going to trigger us to know that XSDI is something we need to bring to the table for our client? The first is what we call the $250,000 trigger. That means that any individual earning $250,000 or more, they are going to need a Peterson DI excess quote on the table as well. Again, if we look at the tiers, that group LTD and individual coverage is not going to be enough, so we bring in PIU to bring in sufficient amounts of income. A very unique product that Peterson is bringing to the table this year is the ability to insure stock option income. This is huge for publicly traded companies, and this is going to be our second key. So any big clients that you have employed by a publicly traded company, that is your suite for a nice GSI policy on those executives. Why? Because you're going to be the only agent with this type of product in their portfolio. And two, you know that they do not have anything like this in place because it has never been offered before. These individuals are making a majority of their income from their stock option gains. And because of that, they are very motivated to insure this amount of income. And so Peterson International is the first company in the entire world, frankly, to offer a disability income protection policy against their stock option earnings. It's going to take a 3-year average, and we offer up to a 5 times lump sum of that number. Okay, so it can be individually written on an individual basis, or have you ever met an executive earning a stock, or an executive of a public company earning a stock option, and he's the only person getting a stock option benefit? Probably not. It's going to be about 20 to 30 executives all on the top suite reaping benefits of a stock option income plan, and this is your chance to implore a GSI option with them to get a guaranteed standard issue opportunity. What is GSI, you ask? Well, that's a great question. Again, very, very quick skim over the top, but our guaranteed issue product comes into play when we can at least get 3 individuals on a census or more. That includes no exams, huge discounts in premium. The policies are also portable, so these people can take it with them if they were to ever leave or change companies. And this policy is also a little bit enhanced. It includes an automatic benefit increase to follow their salary as it might increase in future years. Not only is this type of issuance very beneficial for your client, but it's huge for you because you don't have to worry about the headache of underwriting, of getting all the right requirements in that are required by the insurance carrier. We make this very simple. It's 1 page to enroll your entire group in this program. And this is going to bring you steady, long-term business for the growth of you and your agency. Very, very few guaranteed issue policies are canceled by the entire company or the entire group. Maybe 1 or 2, but that policy is in force for the long term, and those are strong commissions for you in the future. Speaking of commissions, the commission structure that Peterson International and Levinson and Associates have created for you on a GSI platform are very unique. It's a non-graded commission structure. So it doesn't matter how many people you have on this policy or what the huge premium is on it, you're going to receive that same percentage of premium, which is a huge advantage to you, bringing you exponential numbers. So that's our key for excess DI. And again, a very brief overview here of some of the solutions on the business DI side that are going to be available to you through Levinson and Associates. And these are filling those constant needs every day. The main thing we can take away here are the high limits and the impaired risk. So let's keep an eye on those as we briefly cycle through. If we don't spend enough time on a certain screen, please feel free to screenshot it, or I will have this presentation available and sent to Bill and Joseph for you to get from them in the future here. So key person DI, huge, not always considered by that company that you're working with. They always think of the key person life, but little do they know the chance of a disability occurring to that key individual is much more likely. So we can provide benefits at 150% of that person's income or a 5 times lump sum. Same with a buy-sell. Most traditional carriers are going to cap out your buy-sell contract insurance policy at about $3 million. I know a lot more, I know a lot of companies worth more than that $3 million number. So anything above that amount, again, Peterson's excess high limit coverage is going to insure the remainder of that buy-sell contract. What's very unique to Peterson is our buy-sell plus policy. It combines both of the benefits of a buy-sell and a key person coverage. Generally, a buy-sell policy is going to have a 12-month wait before that benefit's paid. And a lot of companies, they'd like to get a benefit instead of waiting an entire year for a policy to pay out. So what the buy-sell plus does, it brings in a key person benefit to be paid monthly during the elimination period of the buy-sell contract. So fulfilling the short-term needs with a long-term goal in mind. Business overhead expense, very popular for your dentist or private physicians, where that shop or that company is riding strictly on their shoulders. They want to make sure those monthly expenses can be covered by a policy if they were to go down and not be able to work. Loan indemnification, another unique product. Banks are constantly growing to require DI on their loan contracts because so many of their lendees have gone down due to a disability while they had a life insurance policy in place, but it's not going to get to be used. So ensuring the disability aspect for your client on their business loan is very important, and another solution available to you through Levinson and Associates. And lastly, the severance disability package that you can offer your clients or your company. This is a little known trade secret and the last slide of the presentation, so let me just hit you with this. When a company severs an employee and offers them full benefits for that next year or next 6 months, little do they know that that group or employer-paid DI policy has a fine print stipulation in it that does not allow them to, that excludes the individual from the disability insurance. This is huge if that person were to go down due to a disability during that time of severance, because it would all be riding on the company's shoulders. So what the severance DI policy does is it comes in and provides that short-term benefit to alleviate any liability on the company, and more importantly, to protect that client and that severed employee. So another key solution, like I said, you're not going to sell this one or quote this one every day, but when the need arises, you're going to be very happy that it exists and that you have a resource to it. So that wraps up our business DI and, frankly, the presentation in general. Some things we can take away. We are going to be your solution for any international risks, whether that's life, DI, kidnap and ransom, or medical. And for business life, personal DI, or business DI, just remember, if there's high limits involved or impaired risk clients, Petersen International is going to be your solution, and these solutions are only available to you through Levinson and Associates. So thank you very much for the opportunity to share some of these solutions with you guys today, and look forward to answering any questions.
Yep, thank you, Robert. Great job. We have about 5 minutes left, and I'll just mention before we introduce Amanda, we just had, without mentioning names, a professional golfer, okay, in the Women's League that could not get disability coverage anywhere else. So we were able to get her covered through Lloyd's. Agent was very happy. Obviously, the client was happy. So it was a perfect fit there. And again, you're not going to use these two carriers for every client, obviously. Okay, but if you have a niche situation, we always have a solution for those clients. So just, again, keep that in the back of your mind. And as long as you just remember to call Amanda, she'll put you in the right direction. You don't have to remember every single impairment and product and carrier. So just let us do all the work behind the scenes, if you will. Okay, so Amanda's just going to talk quickly about 3 slides about overall impaired risk with all of our products, just to give you kind of an overview and a few pointers that you could use to grow this side of your business. Amanda, you there?
Yes, Bill. Thanks, Bill. And thanks for everyone who's joining us on today's call. As Bill mentioned, I'm the Levinson underwriting specialist here in the office. So my job is to help you take the guesswork out of medical underwriting, meaning bring it to me, I'll do all the legwork on it, and give you my thoughts on where we should take this case. In building this department, Levinson has put together quite a number of resources for our agents to utilize, and we urge you to utilize these resources to get a better understanding on what exactly goes into underwriting and, more importantly, impaired risk underwriting. A couple of the tools that we've put together are various questionnaires to help you in your field underwriting. For the newer agents, we've put together a generic field underwriting questionnaire that we encourage that you take out to your first initial appointment. When you're dealing with clients who have specific ailments, such as breast cancer or prostate cancer, on the Levinson website, there's a whole library of specific ailment questionnaires that you would have access to keep with you and take on these appointments, so you know exactly what you should be asking your clients in terms of their medical history, so we can get a better assessment with those details. Some of the technology that we use every day in the office, and I use it on pretty much every case that I'm working on, are our X-ray Lite and our X-ray Full. The X-ray Lite and X-ray Full are technology sources that our agents have access to, where you can put in things as simple as somebody's build, if you think they're maybe a little over the standard limit, to get a quick guide as to what rating that client would fall into with certain carriers. When we're dealing with the more complex impaired risk cases, we've put together our own trial application that we use when we're dealing with our informal file submissions. Another thing that Levinson offers, which is really unique and not a lot of our competition has it, are the underwriting resources that the home offices are using. And we've developed these by having these key relationships with our top underwriting carriers. When we're dealing with the impaired risk cases, and these are for your more jumbo and hard-to-place cases, we put together our shopping details that are different than anybody else in the market. When other GAs say that they're going to be shopping your case informally, what most of them are simply doing are sending out a quick quote summary to various home offices just with the basic details. We'd like to work these cases backwards. We're putting on our underwriting hat, and by you giving me that trial application, if these cases meet our certain criteria for an impaired risk case, we will go out and order the full medical file and review those records in-house. And once we feel that the file is complete, we will then shop that case informally to about 8 to 10 different carriers that we think would be the best fits. as these carriers review these files, they're going to submit tentative offers, which then I will evaluate and price out. And once that's done, I will present to you what I believe is our best tentative offer. And the idea is that if you accept this tentative offer, you would simply have to just submit a formal application. If you want to get started or look for the questionnaires that we've put together for you on the Kerry Levinson website, if you're familiar with it or if you're not, we do urge you to become very familiar with this. There's a wealth of information that we've built onto the underwriting tab. You're going to find all of the impairment questionnaires that I've mentioned. You'll have the access to the X-ray software, as well as our trial application and our generic field underwriting questionnaire. So look at that, get familiar with it, keep a copy of that trial application and field underwriting questionnaire handy and take it with you on your appointments. And at any point, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. I'd be more than happy to review any case that you're working on, or maybe it's a decline from the past, and give you my thoughts and see if we can place this successfully. So with that said, I do appreciate the time. I'm going to hand this back over to Bill, and I look forward to working with you guys on your impaired risk cases.
Thank you, Amanda. Great job. So, and I'll just mention, too, and we're not even supposed to talk about this, but we actually have in-house here most of the reinsurance manuals. So that's just another added benefit by working with us and Amanda, is that we have all of these resources that we can access in minutes. So, and also just know that if you come across one of these cases, on the average, they're anywhere between $10,000 of annual premium, and we just placed one last week that was a couple $100,000 that went to 2 different companies. So it's definitely a chance to make a lot of money, help your clients, and obviously you can add another side to what you go out and market every day on top of your traditional life insurance sales. So great job, Amanda. Great job, in fact, to all the presenters. And I want to personally thank our agents. I know we ran just under an hour here, and I know how valuable your time is. So I'll just end with this. Just keep in mind, and this goes in our industry and other industries alike, but especially nowadays with technology that surrounds us every day, okay, they say that the way things are moving and changing, it's almost like you'll have to change a flat tire on a car while the car is still moving forward. Okay, that's how proactive and reactive we have to be to grow our businesses moving forward. So keep in mind, the industry is always about changing, and that's exactly what we will all need to do to keep moving forward. So keep learning, keep growing, and we will all build and learn together. With that said, have a wonderful rest of the week, a great weekend, and good selling. Take care.